What is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, August 29th. Decent slate. Got an early slate that we can play, but we got a 9-gamer on the main. I'm excited for it. Jake had a nice showing in the mini-max last night. I had a nice showing in the quarter on FanDuel. And our boy Eddie, Awesemo, team member, taking down the mini-max last night. 1-800-EDDIE. Make that call if you want to.
Yeah, Eddie just crushed it last night.
Yeah.
Thought I had a chance for a while there. And
I didn't see if he won anything at any higher stakes, but the way that I saw his lineup construction in the mini-max, I would imagine he had some of that stuff in bigger tournaments as well.
I would think so. But, yeah, just really, really good showing there by the Awesemo team.
Team Awesemo. Yeah. We need like a hand signal. I want to throw like a gang sign, but for fantasy sports. How do you make it? Can you make an A? Does that look like an A? No, it doesn't really look like an A. How do you make an A?
I can't see this.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I'm making a bunch of weird hand signs, so it's not really working. Felix Hernandez, obviously going back to 2006 Felix Hernandez skills last night. Good for him. You know who didn't have those skills? Max Scherzer.
He wasn't great.
No.
I think he only ended up like 12 DK points. Oh, nice. Derek Pike won my first ever GPP. $5 single entry, won $700. Nice.
Derek, awesome, man. Congrats. Nick scored 1.5 times the DK points of Max DFS.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So baseball. That's what happens. Took Flaherty out and put Buehler in. Sorry, Jake, for not trusting him. No, go with your gut.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get right all the time. Like, I didn't even see what Flaherty ended up with. I know he was okay, but I mean, it's not like he wrecked the slate. Couldn't really at that price anyways. But yeah, I liked Flaherty. Didn't like Buehler, but I don't know. Could have easily worked out the other way.
I don't want to give you this credit. I hate that I'm about to say it, but I feel like credit is due. Christian Yelich, double dong last night. Jake's home run call. It's the second time of the entire season that we've had someone call a double dong. So kudos. I can't be a dick about it. You got a double dong. I'm not in any position to say anything. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that was nice. I had Yelich on. I think he was one of my highest exposed players, if not my highest exposed. So
that'll help.
Yeah, he helped out a lot. The pitching wasn't great. Didn't have enough Felix, obviously. Kind of knew that even yesterday morning I was going to be way under the field. But Nix was fine. Nola was terrible. Guerra was terrible. But I only had like 2 lineups with Guerra, so didn't hurt that bad. It was kind of a weird slate, and one lineup really saved me.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
149 losses and 1 win can still be a win.
Very true.
Alrighty, let's dig into this stuff. 9-game slate.
Nola. Yeah.
What's up?
Okay. I said Nova, not Nola. Nola was fine.
Oh yeah. Nova, not so great. You know who wasn't great? Pan won.
Pan won. I didn't see how he did.
He got terrorized. Remember, he played the Orioles.
That's right. Yeah.
It went incredibly poorly for him. I think he had like -15 or something the last I checked. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
-12.5. There it is.
Is that what it was? Yeah. Good for him.
Man, I don't know how I made any money last night. I had a bunch
more like pan -1.
Honestly. What a scrub.
I'm the worst. Blue Jays and Orioles were running back to it once again. 4.6 run implied total for the Jays. 4.4 for the Orioles. Ryan Borucki going for Toronto. Alex Cobb going for Baltimore. Jays a 52% chance to win. We do not have ownership yet, I believe. Oh, it is up. Nope, just the early. Okay, waiting on that. I've got a lot of Borucki. 17%, in fact. So, my question to you is, do you have any interest in Borucki? And how much are you going to have Alex Cobb?
Yeah, so interest in both of these pitchers, just because it's a really weird pitching slate, and I didn't write up either of these 2 guys, but I think that like Cobb has clearly made improvements, and I'm willing to play him even at 6,400. I think it's a little bit overpriced. Still not convinced he's a great pitcher or anything like that, but he's not terrible anymore. That's for sure. And he's going to get a bunch of righties. He's done a decent job limiting hard contact, and he's at home here. So that's my interest in Cobb. I'll probably be over the field on him, assuming his ownership isn't over like 15, 20%. And then Borucki, he's also done a decent job limiting damage for the most part. Goes over 100 pitches when things go decently for him, like last start, 103, and then he's got 4 out of his last 6 over 100 pitches. So that's valuable at 6,200. And against a bad team, I know Baltimore has been a lot better lately, but I don't know. Are you expecting 2 explosions in a row in this Baltimore lineup?
No, not today. I don't have much Baltimore. I was on them pretty heavily yesterday, which was helpful. But I'll have some. I have a little bit of exposure, but they're pretty lowly ranked for me. 11th on FanDuel, 8th on DK. Nothing special. I'll have some of the guys, but it's not the spot. I'm looking at Cobb's numbers right now.
I mean, it's not like he's getting a ton of chases or anything. But he's had a pretty rough stretch, though. Like, if you look at his last 3 starts, against Boston, at Cleveland, against the Yankees, and then 5 starts. So he was at Tampa Bay, and then in Yankee Stadium, and he's kind of survived everything.
I know. Like, he's been incredibly hit lucky. He's
hit lucky
for those 3 starts, yeah.
I mean, he's given up, 5 and 6 hits? What's his BABIP? I don't know.
So in the last 3 games, 154, 192, 263, 227 in the game in the last 4. So been a little bit fortunate. Balls have been finding gloves, but he hasn't been like putting himself in bad situations
He's
by
also
putting guys on. Other than that, 6Ks, 3Ks, 7Ks, 3Ks. He's had 2 decent starts mixed in there. So he's been significantly better than he was in, say, April and May. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a decent job limiting hard contact. Maybe that'll help your BABIP, obviously. If you're giving up 21% hard contact, 30%, 9% against Tampa Bay. Got lucky against Boston for sure, 45%. But you're going to get lucky sometimes, and there are certainly some strikeouts. So I can't believe I'm playing Alex Cobb in 2018. I absolutely hated this guy even like 2 months ago, but here we are, an Alex Cobb play for 6,400 on a 9-game slate.
So I won't have any Cobb. Borucki's the only guy I'm looking at here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame you if your model hates Cobb. It's been pretty recent. It's a pretty low sample or a pretty short sample. But I just like looking around, and where else are you going to go in this range? I like one other guy, but and he's cheaper, but don't feel great about him either. So
is the guy that you like that's cheaper Adam Plutko?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
on the same page.
I'm going to like him until I see his ownership, I have to imagine. Because. Yeah. So that it could change, but hopefully we'll have ownership by the time we talk about him.
I would imagine he'll be out in the next couple of minutes. What do you think about the Blue Jays bats here? So I know that you were thinking about Cobb, but I have the Blue Jays as my number 5 stack on DK. They were not great yesterday, but ultimately finished out all right. Grichuk, noted quick hit yesterday. Went yard. I should have taken him instead of Jock Peterson. But we'll ignore that for right now. Do you have any interest in any bats on either side?
Yeah, Grichuk was actually the guy I was going to mention. Cobb only striking out 13% of righties for the season. Does a good job getting ground balls, but Grichuk hits righties really well, and he's only 4,300. It's a good park, and he's just got a ton of power. I mean, this is not an easy spot for Cobb. There's a bunch of power at the top of this lineup. Smoke, Morales, Grichuk, and the wind's blowing out, and it's 90 degrees. So, I mean, I wouldn't blame anyone for stacking up either side of this game, really, just for the weather. I think I'm just more on the pitchers, and I'll have more exposure to Cobb and Baraki guy to the bats.
Okay.
No Teoscar.
No Teoscar. Billy McKinney going from leadoff to the 9 hole. That's great.
Yeah, they should just move everyone.
They're not going to hit McKinney 9th against Cobb.
I wouldn't think so.
Like, I like Gurriel, but you move McKinney to the 1 spot there. That's kind of silly. And I'll love McKinney if he does get up to that spot.
Move Travis down.
Yeah. So I like Gurriel, Travis, Smoke, Grichuk, and then Danny Jansen if I need to have a catcher. They're just really cheaply priced. I'm not paying that $5,200 price tag for Kendry Morales. Get out of here. That's out of control.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe against the lefty, but not against the righty.
He's hit 7 home runs in 7 games. How do you fade that?
7 and 8, right? Didn't he not hit one?
Yeah, the last 2 nights I don't think he has.
He didn't play last night, did he?
That is true. Unless he pinch hit.
I don't remember talking about him at all. But it's a good mix. The Gurriel dual eligibility on DK really helps, so you can go short, second, first, outfield. Really nice balance. So they're a team I'll get to because obviously I'm not super excited about Alex Cobb.
Yeah.
Any Orioles bats that you want to touch on?
Kind of just VR. I mean,
I like Adam Jones.
Yeah.
But he's not awesome against lefties, even though he should be.
No, he's never really hit lefties that well for his career.
No. Now you don't see, so he's got a 1%, positive split, and that's just sort of how it works, the way that I handle it. But that's about as low as you'll see for a righty against a lefty. Yeah. Alrighty, moving on. To the Nats we go. Nats and Phillies. 4.5 run implied total for the Nats. 5 for the Phillies. That's a 54% chance to win for the Phils. Gio Gonzalez going for Washington. Jake Arrieta going for Philadelphia. This one kind of surprised me because these are 2 guys that I sort of get to on a regular basis, but barely any Gio, just 3% for me, and only 1% Arrieta. And I really only like the Phillies bats on FanDuel. So are you going to take a look at Gio or Arrieta at all?
No, not really. I'm on bats here. Gio's just been really bad, and he's not good against righties to start with. A 166 whip for the season. His xFIP is 485. So if there are more lefties in this lineup, you see Odubel Herrera, but he can hit lefties. And that's the only lefty that I'm looking at. So I like Hoskins and Asdrubal Cabrera and Wilson Ramos and Carlos Santana especially. Those are a pretty easy 4 for me to get to. And then I'll even go to Roman Quinn and Kingery down there. I like the full stack against Gio in this weather. Again, over 90 degrees, wind blowing out. And then kind of the same thing. Arrieta just has a tough time missing bats. I mean, he can get strikeouts, getting strikes looking and such if guys are guessing, but I'm on Harper and Soto and Adam Eaton, so I like bats on both sides. I guess game stack here.
Okay. I don't have a ton of interest on the Phillies on DK. I just don't like their price point, but they are so cheap on FanDuel. $2,900 for Hernandez, Hoskins only $3,500, Cabrera $2,600, Wilson Ramos $2,700, Carlos Santana $3,200. They're really, really, really easy to fit in. Good positional spread. I have everybody top to bottom on FanDuel. I would imagine I'm going to be well over the field. We'll see when that comes out. But Phillies, number 4 stack on FanDuel, number 15 on DK. I didn't get them once on DraftKings, and I have them constantly on FanDuel. I hate when that happens. I never know what to cheer for.
Yeah, right. Are you going to have either pitcher? You're going to have Arrieta?
Maybe probably like a line or two of both, barring any changes.
I think if I get to anyone in this game, it'll probably be Gio.
Same.
Honestly, just because he's cheaper, and these guys grade out about the same for me in their matchups. I mean, if this were a bigger slate, there are a couple more options. I would just X both of these guys out, but like I'm not going to go all in on Cobb or Barucki in this range. So I guess just by default, I'll have a few Geo shares, but man, I don't feel good about playing many pitchers tonight, Geo included, and especially not Arrieta against this Nationals lineup.
Same. And there are guys that I'm playing today at pitcher that I am not proud of.
Reynaldo Lopez in Yankee Stadium.
That's not one.
Okay, good. There you go.
I don't think it's one. Let me just make sure I'm not. Yeah, that's not one.
Nice.
I'll have some of the Nats bats, but they're more of a secondary team for me. And, the lefties will be the priority. So Harper and Soto specifically. Turner's good against righties, so Turner's fine as well.
Oh, stolen bases have been an issue for Arrieta in his career. So
okay, that's good to know.
On Turner there. I forgot that I mentioned that on the night shift, I think. And you just reminded me. So
that was my goal, to remind you.
There we go.
Speaking of Reynaldo Lopez, White Sox and Yankees. 3.7 run implied total for the White Sox, 5.8 for the Yanks. Yanks' highest implied total of the slate. They are 70%. They have 70% chance to win. It's as we mentioned, Reynaldo Lopez going for Chicago, CC Sabathia going for New York, and oh my God, I've got 41% CC on DK and 34% CC on FanDuel. White Sox have struck out 27% of the time against lefties this year, so that helps. Are you gonna mash CC with me?
All right, so we just got ownership. So
okay, I'm nervous.
He's one of the guys I wanted to see.
I'm so nervous to look at this.
All right, I like this. I can deal with this.
Okay. Okay.
You're not gonna hate it. I mean, you're fine.
Thanks, Tom, for letting us know in the chat as well.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. All right. So
I'm going to be way over the field on a bunch of people. I am taking a stand tonight.
Good. You gotta take a stand. Wow, Yankees. Oh my God. So the Yankees are looking like one of the chalkier teams. I haven't gotten to the Dodgers just yet, but I'm assuming they will be incredibly chalky as well.
I'm going to cycle back just through those games just to give an idea to everybody of where we're at ownership-wise.
Okay.
For the Blue Jays and Orioles, they're sort of average in projected ownership. Nothing incredibly chalky. I'm way over the field on DraftKings for the Jays. I'm neutral on FanDuel. And I'm very significantly under the field on the Orioles. For the Nats and Phillies game... Alex Cobb, 15% expected ownership. Barucki, 13%. Those are both for DK.
Yeah, that's about what I expected. I mean,
yeah, me too.
That's fine. It's not going to get me off of either guy or be like, wow, I got to play either guy. What about Arrieta and
Gio are both at 11% on DraftKings, so we are not fans.
Yeah, I'm going to be way under on both of those guys, I think.
Yeah, I'm under the field on the Nats bats on both sites. Neither are incredibly chalky. I'm under the field on the Phillies bats on DK, not very chalky, but I am double the field on FanDuel. We're projecting 7% aggregate, and I've got 14. Just to cycle through that since we just got ownership. We'll hop back to White Sox and Yanks now. CC Sabathia, 22% expected ownership on DraftKings, 14% on FanDuel. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I'm right there with you on CC.
That's me clapping my hands, just that far.
Yeah. So I just looked into him his last few starts, and he kind of doesn't have great stuff anymore.
Nope.
But against bad teams, he can just dominate. Just kind of got that crafty veteran arm, and he can just go and mow down these bad teams. He's done it 3 straight times against the White Sox, I believe Texas and Detroit. I can check on that, but 3 straight starts. 12 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, and 8 strikeouts. The 12 strikeout game was against the White Sox in Chicago. And obviously the White Sox strike out a ton against lefties, 26.5% for the season.
12 strikeouts and 5 2/3.
Yeah. Yeah, his swinging strike rate in that game was absurd, 21.4%. Chase rate was out of control as well, like around 40. He's getting more chases against these bad teams. Like, this is the same bad team. It's going to be pretty much the same lineup, and he's at home here. The Yankees are going to put some runs up on Reynaldo.
They better.
And, yeah, it's not great weather for pitching, but it's not great weather anywhere. It's kind of like yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, CC just makes for a pretty fun GPP option if he's not going to be the chalk. And we've got, I believe, Godley's higher owned than him. So that's kind of what I expected. I expected Godley to be up over 30, 35, and CC to be below 20, but maybe that'll change as the day goes on. So
I've got Godley at 35 exactly, if that helps you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be, if ownership holds, I'll be double the field or close to it on DK and more than double on FanDuel. That's what happens when you face the White Sox. Everybody sucks from a strikeout perspective. They're all just, here's the projected steamer strikeout rates for the White Sox. 25, 24, 24, 32, 35, 32. Narvaez at a crisp 16, and then 32, 29. That is atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, just so many strikeouts.
It's an average, like a straight average of 28%, which is 6% higher than the league average. Oh.
Yeah, they're going to strike out a lot. So if CC's even got like anything tonight, he should be able to get 5 or 6 strikeouts. I think he's got upside for 7, 8, maybe close to double digits here if things go well. And they're letting him go pretty deep, actually. Only threw 80 pitches last time, but he got through 6 innings. You didn't really need a ton more out of him. And then 103 and 97 in his 2 starts before that. So maybe I think it was me. I was talking about how I'm nervous that the Yankees are going to pull their guys in the 5th inning, but it hasn't really happened yet where they've been pulled early. That'd be pretty tilting if it was this time when I was on CC, though.
Yeah, I'll lose my mind. Love CC today. Yanks bats are chalk. That should be no surprise whatsoever. Second chalkiest stack on FanDuel. Most chalky stack on DK. I have them 5th on FanDuel, number 1 on DraftKings. So I am right with the field on DK and a little bit over the field on FanDuel. But my composition of the Yankees are very different compared to the public. So what do you like on the Yanks specifically?
I mean, Hicks I love. Hicks is one of my favorite plays. But, like, Lopez just walks so many guys. This is Yankee Stadium. The weather's hot here. It's blowing out. I don't know what's not to like. Reynaldo's not a guy that's going to miss a ton of bats anyways. I know he's capable of good starts time to time, but I'm assuming you have a ton of Stanton.
I do.
And not as much Hicks, whereas I'll have a ton of Hicks. I mean, I'll still have a bunch of Stanton, but Hicks will be my highest exposed player on the Yankees.
Okay.
And then I love Gleyber Torres as well for 4,400. Neil Walker's kind of tough to avoid if you're stacking Yankees.
Yeah, he's the dude that my stuff is going bonkers for. 32% Neil Walker, projected for 13.
And as I say that, I kind of want to take that back. He's not that tough to avoid just because salary is not a huge issue. My top 2 pitchers are Godley and CC Sabathia, and they're both under 9K. And I think there's only a couple pitchers that are above 9K. Newcomb, Peralta, Derek Rodriguez, which we'll get to him. But, yeah. So you're not, like, spending up really anywhere tonight.
I like Neil Walker for 2 reasons. I like him as a first base option because he's cheaper than Voit, and I like him as a second base option because he's cheaper than Torres. And I like him both. If they were all the same salary, I'd probably still have Neil Walker in this matchup.
Ooh, over Gleyber?
Yeah.
All right.
I have 30. Okay. I don't love this, and I will manually bring down Neil Walker a little bit because no one needs to be 3 times the field on Neil Walker. But I have 32% Neil Walker and no Torres on DraftKings.
Okay.
It's just because of the price. That $800 difference, an extra spot in the lineup, and that dual eligibility, it's hard for me to get to Torres or Voit with Walker above them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have a bunch of Torres, Brett Gardner. I don't like the bottom of this lineup that much.
I mean, Voit, eight I could do without 8-9.
But yeah, I don't even like Voit that much. But whatever. I don't think the Yankees are my top stack. I think they're top 3 or 4 for me. So maybe I'll be different than the field just because I'm in love with the Dodgers again. So we've gone down that road quite a few times. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Chad Stalker second in the mini-max. So Eddie in first. Chad Stalker in second. Jake, you had 5th?
I think I had 9th.
Oh, is that what it was? Maybe I just looked at it when you were in 5th. Either way, that's at least 3 pieces of this contingent going to the top 10 of the mini-max. Good for everyone involved.
Yeah. A lot of Awesemo logos up there. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah, we need to think about getting like a members logo. That I don't know if it's like the inverse of the normal colors or that South Park Awesemo robot thing. Any White Sox bats?
They've actually been hitting lefties for power lately. So I think if I'm targeting CC, then I'm probably just going with 1 or 2 White Sox bats. Again, not full stacking against a pitcher that I think is pretty decent and a really, really good bullpen. So it's going to be either Matt Davidson or Avisel Garcia for me.
I love Garcia, but I don't really have him here. I think he grades out pretty nicely as a one-off, and it's a really good spot, lefty-righty. But I'm not getting to any White Sox stacks. A little scary just because of Sabathia's ownership. That could change as the day moves on. I mean, I'll have my 1 or 2 lines of them just because I force in everybody. But I'm not here for the White Sox today.
Okay.
Moving on. This one is going to be really interesting to talk about. I have no idea what your perspective is on it, so I'm excited. Brewers and Reds. Brewers 4.9 run implied total. Reds 4.1. 58% chance to win for the Brew Crew. Freddie Peralta going for Milwaukee. Matt Harvey going for Cincinnati. Freddie Peralta expected ownership on DraftKings 22%. I have 4. What do you think about Freddie Peralta?
I'm right there with you. I think Peralta has been a little bit fraudulent lately. I don't
fraudulent.
Yeah,
those fighting words.
No, I mean just for DFS, could be a nice guy. I don't know what he does in his personal life, but against lefties, I just expect him to get hit hard, and he has been hit hard already. He's striking them out at a 28% rate, but that I think is inflated from his first few starts earlier this season. 45% hard contact, 482 xFIP against lefties, bunch of fly balls, line drives, all that stuff we're looking for, and then a 158 whip. His whip is like half of that to righties.
228 BABIP on the season.
Yeah, so I think he's been a little bit lucky. I don't think he's a bad pitcher by any means, but this is not a great spot. I don't like attacking the Reds, especially if Votto's going to be back. I like Scooter against fastballs, and Peralta lost a mile of velocity on his fastball his last start. It could be nothing, but he can't really afford to lose miles per hour on his fastball. It's already barely touching 90. So Schebler and Jeanette, I really, really like. And then if Votto's back, no issue with him for 4,200. And then you throw in Suarez in a stack and Barnhart, and it's pretty easy to get to a full stack against Peralta, especially when he's at chalk. So I'm not on Peralta. I'm on the Red stack, and I'm on both sides of this game once again today.
Okay, so I'm on the Brewers bats. No Reds bats for me. I'll take fading Peralta as enough of that side. I get the interest in, Schebler and Votto, righty, lefty. It does concern me a little bit that I'm not getting there, but I'm okay with it, I guess.
Why wouldn't you want to have Reds bats if you're fading Peralta? I mean, if he gets blown up, it's going to be with walks and power probably.
It's more that I don't need to spend the 9,700 on Peralta as the most expensive pitcher on the slate. Red's only a 4.1 run implied total, so there's something there. It's a combination. Like, I don't find the Reds appealing or Peralta appealing. Like, I could see them going, Peralta is messy, only goes 5 innings, doesn't provide value on 9,700. But I don't necessarily see the Reds as like this team that's set to blow up. At least nothing in Vegas points me in that direction. I'd have more interest in like a Schebler one-off or a Votto one-off could be okay. Schebler in particular, a one-off I think is nice. But if Votto's going to be 11% or 14%, I don't necessarily need that. I am with you though on the Brewers bats.
I just think Peralta's wearing down, or he's nursing an injury. Like his fastball was averaging at almost 92 miles per hour on July 30th, and now in his last start on the 22nd, it was under 90. So that's concerning. May not be an injury, may just be he's got a tired arm. He hasn't pitched in a week, so maybe it jumps back up. But at 22% ownership, I can't do that with the guy that's. I think he's getting pretty lucky with the strikeouts. I don't think they're sustainable. Like 7 strikeouts, 7 innings. I don't think that's sustainable.
I'm with you. I hope that ownership holds. I'd like to be under the field.
Yeah.
And then Brewers bats for me, lefties are obvious. Yelich, Shaw, Moose Tacos. But I also really like Ryan Braun. Dual eligibility, again, is a huge factor for me there. Lorenzo Cain looks great leading off. I want to be on the Brewers tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. Like, I want to consider even playing Matt Harvey here for 6,900, but
nice.
I think he's going to have problems with lefty power for the rest of his career. And he just doesn't have great stuff to lefties.
No.
Doesn't really get chases. He doesn't have an elite changeup or anything. And, I mean, you see the swinging strike rate. 4 straight starts under 10%. Not really a pitcher that I love. He's got to get ahead of guys. And he's got to have guys that are kind of guessing on him to have successful starts. And the Brewers just have 1 or 2 too many good lefties on this team. Even if Thames is out, like they still have Yelich, Shaw, and Moustakis, which I'm really afraid of. So I don't think I'll get to Harvey. I will get to those power lefties. And there's just so much power on this team.
It's
I think
crazy.
My guy is actually Ryan Braun, the guy you mentioned. So
Steamer is super close to having their 2 through 7 with a projected ISO north of 200. Yelich is at 198 and Scope is at 197. And the 4 guys in between are all over 200. That's so much power. Which is going to create games where they do nothing. And then it's going to create games where they have 6 home runs.
Brewers bullpen has been bad lately. Well, even better. This helped people. I mean, they still have Hader, right? Like he's still healthy. Is that?
No idea. At least not off the top of my head. No idea.
Yeah, I never know if these bullpen arms are healthy because I haven't been watching a ton of games lately. Been gearing up for hockey season. Yeah, I think Hader's fine. Is he rested? That's a little bit concerning.
That I can answer you. Well, mildly quickly. Hader, yes, he is rested.
Okay, that's a little bit concerning. You're going to need the Reds to jump out on Peralta early and get a lead because they're not going to bring him in if it's 5-1.
Right.
I doubt it. So you really want to avoid Hader because that's like 1 to 2 innings of just he's probably just shutting down everyone. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like both sides of bats. Want to consider Harvey, but I think I'd rather go to either guy in the Baltimore game over Harvey.
Yeah, I only have 3% Harvey. I'm not super interested. Fade Peralta. Hashtag fade Peralta.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one that I'm really uncomfortable about altogether. Twins and Indians. Twins, 4.2 run implied total. Indians, 5.5. 63% chance to win for the Indians. Cole Stewart going for Minnesota. Adam Plutko going for Cleveland. Cole Stewart, we're projecting 0% ownership. I completely agree with it. Adam Plutko, we're projecting 16% ownership. I've got 23. 5,000, super cheap SP2 option. Just not entirely sure you need it today, but we'll talk about that. I'm going to be playing Plutko. Are you?
I will have Plutko. I didn't catch his ownership.
16.
Okay. That's fair enough. I think I'm somewhat comfortable playing him. So what I wrote in the Spotlight Pitchers is, like, I don't want him at major chalk, but in GPPs, if he's at a reasonable ownership, I'm on him. The Twins, they don't have a lot of strikeouts in their lineup and a bunch of lefties up top, but if he can navigate those guys, there are strikeouts, and especially from the right side, which he's done a good job against. So Sano, Austin, Garver all strike out well above average. And Plutko against righties has actually been really solid. Near 25% K rate, 0.70 whip, and then a 13.6% line drive rate. So no power, no hard contact, striking guys out. Threw 105 pitches in his last start, and he's 5K. So that's the most important, I think. There's the case for Plutko. I'm going to be on him, probably going to have more than the field. And I'm just trying to pay up for as many bats as possible, like Yelich and like some of these guys on Plutko's team and the Dodgers. So I will have like Plutko, probably Plutko Cobb pairings. I'll have Plutko, Godley, of course, and CC. So it's going to be a lot of bats for me. He allows me to do that.
Yeah, weighted average price of pitchers today is at 7,900. That's pretty low. I'm starting to think that I want to not necessarily prioritize more of the cheaper stacks and get more of what should be like the talented pitchers that aren't getting owned. Alex Wood, Derek Rodriguez.
Yeah, I would do that if we had a bunch of really solid arms up top, like we did yesterday.
Yeah,
like Morton and Nola and those kind of guys. But like, I don't want to pay up for Freddie Peralta. I think Newcomb is fine. I don't know. I'm just letting the slate take me where it takes me, and that's to all the big bats today.
Speaking of bats, just going to give it all out right now. Twins, number 2 stack on FanDuel, number 4 stack on DK. Indians, number 3 on both sites. I am double the field on the Indians. I am double the field on the Twins at a minimum. Let's start with the Twins, I guess, because it's not really hard to justify an Indian stack. Do you like the opposite side of Plutko? Do you like going to the Jakes for bats today?
Well, one guy I really like is Eddie Rosario. Just crushes righties, 221 ISO, 127 WRC plus, bunch of hard contact, doesn't strike out a lot. So that's one guy I think Plutko is really going to have issues with getting out. Could be some hard outs, hopefully. Jorge Polanco, similar, not as great of a play, but only 4,100. And then I like Max Kepler as well. So those 3 guys, and then honestly, not a ton I like after that. So those are going to be the 3 guys that come up in like the 2-man mini stacks for me. And then I don't know. I'm not getting to Mauer. I'm not getting to Sano or Tyler Austin or Austin. So that's about it. I'm not really on the Twins stack.
Okay. Forsythe, Rosario, Polanco, Kepler, Sano. I have at triple the field, double to like 4 times the field on all of those guys. I like having the lefties. I don't think Plutko is any good. He just happens to be priced at $5,000 today. But he projects with a 5.5 FIP via steamer. Not like a guy that misses a ton of bats. So I'm going to load up on the Twins, and they're going to be the spot where I have the most above the field. But the weirder thing to me in all of this is the fact that the Indians aren't owned more. 5.5 run implied total, tied for second with the Dodgers. Cole Stewart, not good, doesn't miss any bats, walks guys. And he's going up against the lineup where Lindor, Brantley, and Ramirez essentially don't strike out. This is a terrifying spot. Why are the Indians not more owned?
I don't know. I think Ramirez should be one of the highest owned players on the slate, and maybe he'll get there. So Stewart hasn't been like completely blown up, 3 earned runs in each of his first 3 starts, but definitely is going to have trouble with lefties. Already has had trouble. Short sample, but just a 3% K rate. Has gotten ground balls, but 576 xFIP, a ton of hard contact, and then add that in with guys like Jose Ramirez, Michael Brantley, Francisco Lindor, and it could be a short outing here for Cole Stewart. So I'm on those 3 guys. I think they're somewhat owned. Looks like a little bit under-owned right now, in my opinion. But if they are, then just more for me, I guess. I love the top 3. I love Yonder Alonso as well.
Yep.
And then I rarely ever get to Melky and Jason Kipnis outside of stacks.
Yeah, I don't have. I like them a little bit more on FanDuel. Kipnis only 2,800. He's a guy that I get a lot on FanDuel because he's usually sub 3,000 at an optimal position for me. I have a ton of Roberto Perez on DK. That's driving a lot of it. But I'm perfectly fine with that if the Indians are going to have the second highest implied total. Like, if I have to get a catcher on this slate, I'm happy to get it from there. If Roberto Perez gets on, he's going to have Lindor, Brantley, and Ramirez, and Encarnacion coming pretty quickly. I like there's a decent chance Roberto Perez scores a few runs if he can get himself on base.
That's the problem. Can he get himself on base?
Yeah, probably not. We're about to find out because I'm going to have a ton of them.
Yeah. I mean, so now I kind of understand why maybe we don't have such a high projected ownership for these Indians, because after the 3 5K guys or the 4 5K guys, you still have guys at 44, 4,500, 41, 41. So even on a slate where you can't really pay up for pitching, it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to fit in a 5-man Cleveland stack if you go with all the top guys.
I guess. I don't know. I don't get it. When I saw the weighted average salary, I was like, oh shit, the Indians are going to get pounded. Total looks good. Yeah, people have the salary. It's $1,000 less. The average is $1,000 less than it was yesterday. But now, I mean, it's just a relatively pedestrian ownership for Lindor, Brantley, and Ramirez. So I'm going to be double the field easy. I love the Indians today. They didn't make my spotlight hitters, pitchers, and stacks because they're technically 4th overall, even though they're 3rd on both sites. I know that sounds super weird, but I weigh the higher rankings more. So, like, I have the Twins ahead of the Indians because the Twins are 2nd and 4th because they get to 2nd. That's my priority. So I didn't even talk about the Indians, as weird as that sounds. I love them. Go Indians and Adam Plutko, but also go Twins. I want it all in this game. Game stack.
You're all over the place.
Game stack. Rays and Braves. Rays 3.9 run implied total. Braves 4.6. It's a 57% chance to win for the Braves. Jalen Beeks looks to be the guy coming in for the Rays. Sean Newcomb going for Atlanta. Newcomb 21% expected ownership on DK. I've got 30. He's at 20% on FanDuel. I've got 26. Newcomb is a guy that I'm really comfortable with here. There's a lot more swing and miss in this Rays lineup than there normally is, or at least there was over a month ago. So I'm really happy to be over the field on Newcomb. I like the price at 9,200. There's nobody else to really draw me away at the top end of pitching. So give me some Sean Newcomb. Go Braves. What do you think?
Yeah, I just think Newcomb's a solid pitcher. Decent price here. I don't know how much Newcomb I'll get to, though. I think he's one of the safest options.
Yeah. Would you say Newcomb is the best cash option, or would you say Sabathia?
It'd be pretty close. I'd probably lean Sabathia there.
Okay.
But it'd be pretty close. Like, you could definitely make an argument for Newcomb, better weather, smaller park or bigger park. I mean, probably less power on this Tampa team than the White Sox.
Yeah.
So there's a case to be made for either one. I mean, you could play both of them in cash probably.
Yeah, true.
Just because pricing is so soft. But yeah, I think he's a pretty safe option. Like, probably has one of the best chances for 20 plus DK points, and that's what you're looking for from your pitcher spots today. I don't really see anyone I want to play against him. So when that's the case, I have to at least have some interest in him. When you look at some of these strikeout rates, Wendell at overleague average, Cron 28%, Willie Thomas near 40%, Carlos Gomez 24%. You're going to get a pitcher spot in there. Just not a lot of power, like guys like Sucre and Kiermaier, lefty. Gomez has a 140 ISO against lefties. Pham can't hit lefties this year. Duffy, same thing. So just a really safe option here for Newcomb. And it's not like he lacks upside either. So maybe I should be on Newcomb more now that I'm talking myself through it. He had a game with 134 pitches. I know it was like a no-hitter possibility, but it's kind of crazy. Back-to-back 111 pitch starts. Maybe I overlooked him when I was looking at stuff last night.
There you go. Come on over to the Newcomb team.
Team
Braves. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. This hat's coming off. Putting the Braves hat on. Let's go Newcomb. Braves hat is on.
So you're going to be on your Braves for once in your life.
Pretty much just Newcomb. I have a little bit of Braves bats, but nothing crazy. I'm on Team Newcomb. Let's rub the Braves hat a little bit. I've got 1, 2, 6 hats sitting next to me, plus the one on my head. So Braves bats. Are you worried about? I guess let's talk about Beeks. Do you have any interest there? Because I don't really have any. He's not in the fantasy cruncher pool yet, but I don't think that I'm going to get to him.
I will have some Beeks. 5,600. He just looks really good. His last 4 or 5 outings, getting a ton of swinging strikes, not going much past like 5 innings. But he's 5,600, and you can deal with that. So if you're not going to Plutko, if you don't feel good about Plutko, you could see Beeks coming in here and getting some strikeouts against, especially these lefties.
Are you worried about the lack of a DH, though?
Yeah, it's a little concerning. When did Chirinos get pulled yesterday?
Forgot he pitched.
How long did he go?
He went 5 innings, 81 pitches.
Okay, so
holy shit.
That's not a real issue then.
Did he pitch well? I feel like I didn't even see anyone mention him.
I don't even know if he got to 10 DK points.
5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. So that's a pretty shitty start.
That's fine. It's whatever. But I think Beeks just has way more, as much swing and miss stuff. The problem is the strikeout matchup isn't great. But Beeks has looked great. So kind of I don't want to target a ton of bats against Beeks. I think you can make a case for Acuna or Tyler Flowers, especially for 3,200. But I don't think I'm rolling out the full stack against this Tampa Bay bullpen, especially now when it's going to be Beeks.
Yeah, so I only have a little bit of Braves. 3% expected on both sites. I have 5 on FanDuel, 3 on DK. I'll have a couple assorted lines, but nothing crazy. And I don't really want any part of the Rays bats either. So,
yeah, we're kind of on the same page. It's going to be mostly Newcomb and then Atlanta one-offs.
That works for me. To our new favorite team, the Dodgers in Texas against the Rangers. 5.5 run implied total, tied with the Indians for second. Rangers at 4.5. 60% chance to win for the Dodgers. Alex Wood going for LA. Mike Minor going for Texas. No Mike Minor for me whatsoever. What surprises me is that I barely have any Alex Wood. And it even surprises me a little bit more that he's barely owned. So do you like Wood here? Or is the park just something you don't want to have to go after?
No, the park's not something I want to mess with.
Okay.
Yeah, Wood can get ground balls and such, but even these lefties hit left-handed pitchers really well. Like, or at least they hit them for power. Like, Gallo and Chu and Odor. Odor's hitting lefties like as well as he's hitting righties this year. 364 on base percentage, 44% hard contact, 118 WRC plus. It's kind of weird for a guy that couldn't hit lefties last year. But anyways, Profar grades out as a pretty solid play against lefties for me as well. And then I know Beltre doesn't really have the most power this year anymore, but still he's 4K, and I like this entire Rangers team really all the way down through Chirinos. So I'm on the Rangers stack. I don't understand why the total is so low. I mean, I guess Vegas has some respect for the Dodgers bullpen and Wood, but 4.5. I mean, I'll take it because I'm all over the Rangers. But yeah, the total is too low.
Rangers stack. So I have no Rangers. 0, nothing. Let me be more specific. I think I got Elvis Andrus as a one-off once on DK.
I mean, Wood gets touched up by righties pretty well. 20% K rate, that's below average. 22% line drive rate. 42% hard contact, very little soft contact. And, I mean, if he elevates anything in that park, it's got a chance of going out, especially against guys that are swinging for the fences seemingly every time.
I got to pull up Alex Wood here. Wood splits. God, he just absolutely nerfs left-handed hitting. Holy hell.
He does. He's very good against lefties, but these guys are also very good against lefties, oddly enough.
I'm not sure I totally agree with you there. I would be avoiding Chu, Odor, Mazzara, Gallo. Profar a little bit different since he's a switch hitter, a little bit better. This Rangers side scares me. That's not a spot I would want to be. They just don't have any right-handed hitting that I'm super worried about. Like, Andrus is a good baseball player, not necessarily someone that has a lot of pop. Kiner Falefa and Tochi both sub 100 ISOs projected via Steamer. I don't know what's there for the Rangers to really be a problem. I like that 4.5 run implied total. If it's that in Texas, I can't even imagine what that would be if we were in a really good ballpark. My aversion to the Rangers makes me want to get more Alex Wood, but I don't have it right now, and I just can't seem to figure out. I mean, lack of strikeouts, I guess. Andrus, Beltre, Profar, Falefa, these guys don't strike out all that much. Gallo is really the only black hole of strikeouts there.
Yeah, I mean, there are strikeouts if Wood can pitch well here. I mean, I'm just not paying 8,400 for him. Absolutely not in this park. When you've got Godley and Michaelis and Newcomb, we talked about CC. There's just too many options around him in way better situations. Even at no ownership, I don't think I'm going to Wood. Really no interest there.
I'm talking myself into it now. This is the first time we've been against each other today with any sort of vigor.
Here's Grace.
Well, we missed you lately, Grace. I was hoping someone would come in and rain on the parade of the chat.
Why would you want us to agree on everything, Grace?
Yeah, it's the most mind-boggling conclusion I've ever seen.
Stack Yankees, stack Dodgers. All right. Yeah, end of show. Anyways.
Just read the ownership projections and go with those. Play the chalk.
Yeah.
We can put this out as a Vine. Okay, let's talk about how much we love the Dodgers bats then, because they're my number one stack on FanDuel. They're my number 2 stack on DK. They're the chalk stack of the day. I'm over the field slightly. I have tons of everyone. If they're really rolling out 8 righties against a lefty pitcher, I mean, how do you not be here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly going to be here. I see a bunch of ownership on the top 4 guys, and or 4 out of the top 5. I guess I didn't see Kemp in there. 9%. Kemp's actually one of my favorites. And then Taylor Puig, Kike. Like, you could do a bottom of the order full stack on the Dodgers and I think be just fine. I know it'd be tough to make a full stack without including Turner or Machado, but man, there's just so many good bats. We talk about it every single day. It's great weather. I'm not really paying attention to the wind blowing in. And I think Dozier might be the one guy that's going to be a little bit overowned, but yeah.
Yeah, I've got 27% Dozier, so if he's overowned, what do you think of me right now?
I think he's going to be closer to your ownership percentage than what we have him at, 17.
Okay.
Like, I just think people will be like, oh, Dozier leading off against a lefty with a 5.5 run total. Let me just pop him in for 4,400.
Who's your favorite guy in the Dodgers lineup today?
I'm just reading chat right now.
I know, I love
Machado and Turner. But then right after them is Kemp.
Kemp's my dude today. I have 30% Kemp. We're only projecting 9, so I have the most leverage on the field of anybody there. Kemp is my dude. I'd expect to see him in quick hits. Perfect spot.
I mean, that price is really tough to beat.
Yep.
He smacks lefties.
But he's only 9%. He's like the least owned guy of everybody at the top of the order. I don't get it.
I think he does go a little bit under-owned just in general when you see bigger names like Dozier, Turner, Machado around him. People love playing Kike, and I like Chris Taylor a lot and Puig. So there's just a lot of really good names. Even Bellinger, we know what kind of power he has. The Rangers bullpen isn't spectacular either. It has been better over the last month, but I don't think they have any great arms in there.
Grace, just give us one combined lineup that the two of you agree on. That would help rather than listen to possibilities abound. The whole part of DFS is the fact that it is possibilities abound. What are we giving anybody if we give out a lineup besides garbage? So that 300 people could run out the exact same line? What a great strategy that would be.
We're literally not trying to give out lineups.
I want people to get better for themselves. I don't want to be a shortcut.
Go to a lineup seller if you're looking for that.
Yeah, go to Crush DFS _ and pay for fake Awesemo lineups and get gypped. Oh God,
our show is garbage. All right,
imagine coming to this then.
Why would you watch if the show's garbage? It's fine.
Like, I don't really want to watch All My Children in General Hospital. But I don't go down to the TV and scream at it, being like, yo, this show sucks. Could you imagine? Could you imagine wanting to do something that you actively don't like? It's the most mind-boggling thing in the world. Please get a hobby.
Luis Caliste, how do I put Osmo projections on Fantasy Crunchy? You're good at answering that, I think.
Look, this is going to be the easiest way to explain this right now. Go to Fantasy Cruncher's forums and check out any sort of videos that they have on how to use the tools. Because ultimately it comes down to just having names and projections next to each other and copying and pasting them into Fantasy Cruncher. But they have documentation on how to do that.
Okay. But I think he was talking about Osmo's specific grades. Like how to interpret those.
That's a good point. Didn't think about it like that. Do we have baseball projections up now?
Actually, don't we have Andrews?
I don't know. We do.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So in that case, it really is just a copy and a paste of projections into. Wow, that is a very thorough projections page.
Yeah. So, Luis, I think you are a premium member, correct?
I'm almost positive. Yes.
Go to the rankings projections tab. Just roll your mouse over that. Click on the third one down, FanDuel MLB projections. If you just want projections, point grades, it's pretty easy to just click copy or download the CSV, and then you click on upload projections in Fantasy Cruncher, and then it'll have your projections on there. Like, it'll have those same ones that under the FanDuel MLB projections.
Yep.
Dude, what is going on today?
We're good. I got through it.
Show's not garbage, but it does lack humanity. Humanity? Wow, we lack humanity. Jeez.
This is a fantastic morning. I love Wednesdays. I love everybody that's here.
Numbers driven guys. Yeah, I don't know. Is that a bad thing? Thanks, Big T. I think that's a compliment. But
Big T's been better lately. Still weird, but
dude, I'm
significantly more tolerable than like 3 weeks ago. So
yeah,
I'm happy to have you here now, Big T.
Big T's got some comedic relief. I don't mind having Big T in here.
I do find it funny that you're still, I think, trying to say that you are at Roto Grinders, but I don't totally believe that you're actually Big T. But other than that, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fine.
If you really are him, like, just at least DM me on Twitter and like, just so I know. I don't have a problem with it or anything. I'm just kind of curious at this point.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, let's get out of here and move on to the next game.
Who will pitch the most innings for Tampa Bay? That'll be Beeks, I believe. Actually.
It's supposed to be Beeks, at least.
All right. There's something else in chat I wanted to address. Something about Grace giving out lineups. Yeah, let's just get this going. So we're both on the Dodgers. I mean, full stack, right? Like,
EMAC. Whoa, did Josh break his hat? I've never seen it facing forward. This is the only hat I wear forward because it's kind of stretched out. It's one of those like flex fit hats, and it doesn't look right backwards.
Sure.
Alrighty. Pirates and Cardinals. Pirates 3.5 run implied total. Cardinals 4.5. The 62% chance to win for the Cards. Trevor Williams going for Pittsburgh. Miles Michaelis, because now I know how to say his name, going for St. Louis. Michaelis, 17% projected ownership. Batten down the hatches, everybody. Josh has 39. So, is Miles Michaelis a guy that you're interested in today?
Yeah, I think he's just too cheap for 7,800 on a slate where you're looking for pitchers not to kill you. This is the perfect guy to play. He's at home. Talked yesterday about how bad the Pirates have been against righties. I think under 80 WRC plus over the last month. Just to give you a general idea of how bad they've been. They're striking out above league average against righties in that time. And they just got dominated by Flaherty. Now, I think Flaherty is a better pitcher than Michaelis right now, as far as strikeouts, just like DFS wise, but you're getting a discount on Michaelis. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. So I think a really safe option, not targeting hitters against him, especially not righties.
Same.
And yeah, and just seems like a bigger. I'm not seeing much I'm worried about. I mean, low run total, not a ton of power in this Pirates lineup. I mean, I guess Dickerson would be the one guy that I'm somewhat worried of, but yeah, give me some Miles Michaelis.
Awesome. Just a quick note. Adam Shockley, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to have a ton of Michaelis here. If the Pirates are going to have a 3.5 run implied total, I'm going to get over the fact that Michaelis might not be the best DFS style pitcher. He might be able to just cruise. If he's locating, it could be troublesome.
Oh, yeah.
Any interest in Cards bats?
G. Alexander, you make a good point there. Yeah, you could say Polanco, Dickerson. I mean, it doesn't matter. Those two are the ones you're somewhat worried about.
Yeah.
Cards bats, Williams is not a guy I target against. So he's just kind of on this crazy tear. It's not really a tear. He's not like lighting the world on fire, but I believe 6 out of 7 starts where he's allowed 1 or 0 earned runs. He's going 5 or 6 innings each time out. And then in that one start that he did, and out of those 7, he allowed 2 earned runs. So just doing a really excellent job of limiting damage. And you can kind of see that in his season numbers. Doesn't do anything great, like 7.4% swinging strike rate. The chase rate is around average, 486 xFIP, but 30% hard contact. The line drives are down, especially to righties, and then a 16% K rate. So he's just really good at getting low quality contact, especially against righties. Against lefties, I think he's got some regression coming, but this doesn't seem like the game where that's going to happen with only Carpenter in the lineup and maybe Greg Garcia down there. So Carpenter is probably the only guy I'm actively targeting against Trevor Williams.
Okay. I've got a decent amount of Carpenter, 5,100, but loading up on Molina, if he's hitting second and he's only 3,800, I think that's one of the better spots you'll find for a catcher. It is righty and everything, but to get a catcher that high up in the lineup and the potential for extra at-bats is really big to me. And then Jose Martinez, 3,900 dual eligibility. I think he's a guy that fits in really well. So he's a guy that I'm pretty significantly over the field on. I don't like the Cardinals as a full stack, but I like that top part of the lineup as a filler for some other stacks.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue against it. Like, I don't think you can't stack against Trevor Williams. Like,
yeah. But I like the idea of having like a third base catcher outfielder stack of Carpenter, Molina, Martinez, and then going to a different team, and then there's suddenly like first base Martinez, third base Carpenter, catcher Molina. Like, you really mix and match these guys a lot, and that's perfect for me, just for that 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
Final game: Diamondbacks and Giants. Diamondbacks 3.8 run implied total. Giants 3.6. It's a 52% chance to win for the Diamondbacks. Zach Godley going for Arizona. Derek Rodriguez going for the Giants. Godley very chalky on DraftKings, 25% expected ownership. A little bit less chalky on FanDuel, 16%. Actually, not less chalky, just as chalky. I don't get to Godley on FanDuel nearly as much. I'm way under the field, but I'm over the field on DraftKings. I hate when this happens, but this is as good a park as any to pitch in. Giants, not exactly a scary lineup. 3.6 run implied total at home is kind of bad. I like Godley here quite a bit. I assume you do too.
Yeah, I mean, great park, great matchup. I think Godley is a pretty awesome pitcher. He's dominating righties this year, striking out almost 27%. He's going to get probably 6 righties, including the pitcher spot. So I can just pretty much end it there. I mean, it seems like it makes almost too much sense. I think he should be the chalkiest pitcher. I believe we have him as the chalkiest pitcher. Yep. And maybe even higher than 25%, but got the highest upside, probably one of the highest floors just with the pure strikeout stuff that he has. And he's in AT&T. So we see all these games in the 90s. This one's in the 60s in a huge park. Is there any reason you would fade Godley tonight? I think for ownership, but
apparently I am on FanDuel.
Okay, I mean, that's a little bit different, but just because you need one pitcher, you can make a case that he doesn't have the best upside. I mean, I would make the case that he does have the best upside, but
he's 9,000 on FanDuel. Newcomb's 8,300. Sabathia is 8,200. So it's just easier to get to those guys at a lesser salary.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. On FanDuel, you can only choose one pitcher. So
yeah,
if you want to choose one that's lower owned, then by all means. Someone's saying that Godley gets hit hard. I mean, yeah, he's going to when he'll hang curveballs, he'll hang a changeup every now and then. But in this big park, I think his downside is limited. I don't see how he can get rocked here unless he just completely does not have it. And you can't really control that. So everything's lining up for him to be a phenomenal play. And he's at an ownership I'm comfortable with right now. So
David Kiefer in the chat, dropping the mic on Grace today. I love it. Any bats? I've got a little bit of Pollock, Peralta, Goldschmidt, but other than that, I'm good for everything here.
So Derek Rodriguez, yeah. Talking about a guy that I think is pretty fraudulent.
That's twice, man.
What?
2 fraudulence. I feel bad for these guys now. I feel like you really dislike these guys.
They're probably good guys. But Derek Rodriguez against lefties has been crushed. So against righties, 250 BABIP on the season, 250 WOBA, but 37% hard contact, very, very little soft contact, bunch of line drives, and then kind of the same thing against lefties for Derek Rodriguez. 17.5% K rate, 25% line drive rate. Like, these are some of the highest numbers of any pitcher going today. 45% hard contact against lefties, 244 BABIP. Like, he's getting lucky. There's no doubt about it. He's got some regression coming. I don't think he's the worst pitcher in the world, but I think it's a mistake to play him at 9,500 here. There's not even that many strikeouts in this Arizona lineup. And I actually like Arizona as like the late night hammer, sneaky stack, whatever you want to call it. I like 2 through 6 a lot against Derek Rodriguez.
Sounds good. Hey, Grace, does that help you? 55% ROI from yesterday. The 5th in the quarter. You done your complaining now?
We do talk about that.
Yep. Talked about it right off the jump.
Whatever. That's fine.
Yeah. Go check the top of the tournament. Go check the Minimax where Jake was in the top 10 and also Eddie won it. You know, just... I don't normally like patting ourselves on the back for that sort of stuff, but if you'd like me to do it, I'll be happy to.
Emax on Rodriguez.
Oh, okay. I don't hate that idea.
Yeah, I respect Emax's opinion. So,
I mean, it's a great park to be in. If he's going to be low owned,
I just mean in like comparison to Godley on the other side, you've got Michaelis for cheaper. Not that salary is a huge issue today, but like I'd rather play Newcomb over him and CC. And I just think he's been lucky. So people might see the recent results and just lock him in because they're seeing solid outings or whatever. But I think his upside is very limited, and I think his downside is very much there because Pollock, Goldschmidt, Peralta, Escobar, love all those guys.
I actually, this sort of cycles back into what I was saying before, where with the weighted average salary of pitchers being so low today, I kind of like the idea of paying up into the higher tier of pitching for the low ownership. Derek Rodriguez was a guy that I mentioned if he's going to be at 6%. I think that you can pay up there to be contrarian today and find a different hitting stack, and you'll get a much different lineup construction. If you're going to, like, of all the guys that you can pay up for, I'd be more than happy taking Derek Rodriguez at AT&T.
God, if he makes me look stupid today, I've had about enough with Derek Rodriguez. But
I think that's an interesting way to go contrarian.
It's certainly going to be contrarian, not a way that I'm going to go to, though.
Understood. It's time for Grace's favorite part of this show, looking at crunches at the end that are largely meaningless moving forward, but apparently the only good part of this show. So let's look at a stack. Give me a team.
Let's just try. Well, let's try the Cleveland Bats. Let's see if we can.
Okay, so lots of Plutko to make the Cleveland Bats work better, but I've got a 4-man Indian stack: Ramirez, Lindor, Brantley, and Roberto Perez. Sabathia, Michaelis. A 3-man Orioles stack: Davis, Mullins, Jones. Doesn't exactly make me happy, but I'm okay with it. And a one-off Travis.
You want to share your screen quick?
I certainly do.
My favorite part is when Josh doesn't take potty breaks. Yeah.
I haven't had one in a while.
So you're running 4-3-1s today, huh? Or you just started?
Apparently.
Yeah, that's fine. different line of construction. Yeah, I like the starting pitchers for sure. And you can fit in all the good parts with, I'm saying Hicks, that Gardner, Andahar, with Dozier fill in. Yeah. So not even that tough to fit in a full Cleveland stack.
No.
And some of my favorite options in here. This will be pretty easy to fill out lineups tonight.
Yeah.
Or sure. Fantasy fill out lineups, I should say.
I'm trying to see if there's any lines that really jump out. Ooh, there's a Michaelis Cobb line for you.
Oh, that's interesting. Twin stack, I like Rosario and Kepler in there. Your boy, the GOAT Forsythe. How can you fade that?
Right? I know. I'm going to hop to a team. Well, I guess I was really over the field on the Indians. So let's look what a chalk pairing is going to look like. Let's grab a Yankees 5-man. See where the public is probably leaning. Okay, so Newcomb, Sabathia, Walker, Andahar, Stanton, and Hicks. 3-man Cards. Another Logan Forsythe.
Okay.
All three of these, well, on the opposite side then too, another Newcomb, Sabathia. This one has a 3-man Diamondback stack with Travis. I'm not super fond of that, but at least not on. I wouldn't build that by hand, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't like the Diamondbacks parts of that besides Pollock, but
so it's pretty easy to get to the Yankees today. I completely understand why they're chalk against Ronaldo Lopez. They're not that hard to fit in.
Fair enough.
Anybody else you want to take a look at, or any specific pitcher combos you'd like to see?
Let's see if Chad's got anything. They usually give a couple.
Well, that's we're gonna get 15 different things now. There it
No,
comes.
usually someone says something right off the bat.
All right, first person in the chat to get one in here, we'll look at it, except for Grace. I feel like we can't reward the bad behavior today.
It's all right. We need people to come in and trash our show.
Nah, if Grace is first, we'll do it.
How about Godley? Oh, all right. Go double AT&T. Orioles. High-end pitcher combos. Yeah. Let's go double AT&T. Godley and Rodriguez. Let's try that.
I did get one, so we could take a look at it.
Everybody's like a Godley Rodriguez. Look at this.
Apparently I didn't get one, but I could just cycle down to Rodriguez. Okay, so that's telling me that I have 2 Rodriguez. I doubled all this stupid shit. Okay, so let's lock Godley and Rodriguez, and then we'll see what it looks like. So lock button on Rodriguez. Lock button on Godley. How many can I get without making changes? Hopefully more than one. That'll work. All right, here's 20 lines of Rodriguez and Godley.
Okay. Yankees. There's your Yankees cards. Dodgers, Orioles.
I love this.
Twins. Well, yeah, it's got Forsythe.
I just like all those dudes, though. I think that's a really great lineup.
I mean, it's very different for GPPs while also getting, a few Yankees guys in there that you really like.
Yeah. So who are the most popular combos here? So I got 3 separate combos of Twins Yanks, Yanks Cards, and Dodgers Twins.
Austin Wins, is he gonna play?
What?
Oh yeah, he's projected. All right.
All right. Do you want to take a look at early slate quick?
Yeah, we can just talk about it quick. You want to go game by game, or we're kind of running pretty long here?
Yeah, we'll hit it holistically. I'm going to open up the sheet because I am going to play it, and I did load up everything but crunches.
Okay.
We do have ownership too, so let me drop that in. You can give your overall thoughts on it right now while I load up the ownership projections.
Yeah. All right. So we'll just kind of talk about it.
Just a quick 5-10 minutes or so.
Yeah. So it looks like Duffy, Fulmer, Keuchel are going to take up the majority of the ownership. And that's fine. I mean, I'm going to have over the field on Cahill just because I really believe in his talent, and he's going to be relatively too under-owned. So he had a really good start against Houston a few starts ago. I think he went 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. That was at home. This is on the road. He's been a completely different pitcher. I don't know if there's something to those home road splits for him, but it's kind of like the Junior Guerra thing, just a completely different pitcher on the road. So very concerning. But so I think what I'm going to do on this slate with Cahill is on the lineups I play him. Obviously, won't have any Astros, but I'm not taking Astros one-offs. I'm going to try to avoid Astros one-offs. I want – because I think if Cahill is cruising, none of these guys are probably going to have great games, and they're going to be highly owned as a stack. So I'm either full stacking or full fading the Astros on my lineups. And then Keuchel, like, he just never really does it for me. He's not a huge upside arm. I know you don't need a ton of upside on a 3-game slate, but I'm really worried about like Piscotty and Pinder and Chris Davis and Chapman especially. Chapman grades out exceptionally well. I like that they're leading off Semien. So I actually like the Oakland stack quite a bit against Keuchel, especially at this ownership. Other game, that's where I'm going to go for the majority of my pitchers. I mean, I'll have a bunch of Fulmer and Duffy. I'm just mixing in both of those guys. Fulmer looks somewhat stretched out. He looked fine to me in that last game, and this is a really soft matchup against KC. Wind's blowing in here. It's under 80 degrees. I do agree with the ownerships here on both Duffy and Fulmer. Again, not too high upside options, but I prefer both of these guys over Keuchel. And then the guy that I'm going to have probably the most exposure to is Alec Mills. Really impressed by what I saw from Mills in his first start. I threw, I think, 84 pitches. So that's a positive. He's 5,800. That's a positive. He's going up against the Mets. That's another positive. Wind blowing in. So there's just a lot of positive things for Alec Mills. He's at home, 14.3% swinging strike rate, and then 39% O swing rate against Cincinnati, which is pretty tough to do. They don't have the most strikeouts. And you look at this Mets lineup, and man, they need all the help they can get from that wind. And it blowing in is a big help to a guy like Mills. So he's a huge favorite. I would assume he's going to be last night I thought he was going to be super chalky, but man, if he's not going to be, that's where I'm going to make stand as far as pitching, and then going to have a ton of Cubs bats and a ton of Oakland bats as well.
Okay. The Oakland one is interesting because I don't think I'm going to have them at all. I just finished the DK crunch. So I'm going to paste it in, compare my stuff to ownership, and then we'll get out of here. Not looking at FanDuel for this one, people. Just DK for the early.
Yeah.
Why is that not coming through? What haven't I changed that's making this be weird?
Have to go with Josh's boy Vargas, right? I do not think you should do that. Love the Cubs. Love the A's. Vargas.
There we go. Okay, so my chalk stack on DK is going to be the Astros. They are also the chalk stack for DraftKings. I have 60% Keuchel, 40% Danny Duffy, 47% Danny Duffy. So I'm right there with the field on both of those. A little bit high on Keuchel, a little bit lower on Duffy. Way under the field on Fulmer, though. We're projecting 48% on Fulmer. I would have 29 right now. The guy that I'm going to is Mills. I'm with Jake there. Double the field. A's would be my least exposed team, so Grace is going to have a field day with this one. Top stacks for me, Astros, Royals, then Tigers. I like it.
All right. Yeah. So on these 3 gamers, I usually just make a stand on like 2 teams and a few pitchers. So just to reiterate, it'll be Mills, it'll be Cubs bats. Oakland, I like that leverage against Keuchel a little bit. And then I'll have a bunch of Fulmer, Duffy as well. So
Astros and Royals are the 2 teams that I will be most over the field on for the early slate, at least as of right now. This is obviously going to change by 2 o'clock. And the A's are the team that I am most under the field on. So Jake and I going opposite directions there on the A's.
Did you see Emac's dad joke? He's just always got the dad jokes. Sometimes Mills looks a little meek on the ball. Like, just excellent work there.
Clapping it up. I like it. Alrighty, everybody, we're going to wrap it up. Please like this video. Smash that like button. It is very, very helpful to us. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get alerts, if you're part of the FanDuel crew, or if you're just new in general. Subscribe to the channel. You'll get an alert anytime that we go live. Check out Spotlight hitters, pitchers, stacks. They are posted to the website right now, broken down by myself and Jake. Lofty will have the deep dive out today. We'll have the daily game plan in your email. We'll have some quick hits this afternoon. Live stream tonight, myself, Chris Spags, going over the 9-game main slate. Starting tomorrow, which is our plan, all of you former FanVice people can be happy again. We should start rolling out all of the additional content. Multiple shows a day, multiple people that you were probably used to. And if you're not, we've got a lot of new stuff coming. So get ready for that. We now have PGA projections on the website, along with Alex's PGA rankings, plus ownership projections. So take a look at everything there. If you're a premium member, we have baseball projections along with baseball rankings. So if you're a premium member, check out all of that information. We're growing like a weed, baby. It's coming.
Very exciting times here. So if you're a premium member, you are in luck because there's going to be a lot of content.
I love it. Best of luck, everybody. You'll see me later, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.